how's it going? It's That Nerd Ryan here, and today we are going to do our first of 2 manga reviews this week, which sounds weird, but it's going to be of this book right here, which is Star Wars The High Republic Edge of Balance Precedent. Precedent, not President, but Precedent. So this is in the Edge of Balance series for the High Republic, obviously, which is a current, like, multi-type book release, obviously, that's going on. This is Phase 2's manga. Phase 1 had 2 mangas, Phase 2 has 1, and interestingly enough, this takes place in both eras of both phases. It basically, the meat of the story is in Phase 2, which is 150 years before Phase 1, and the bread of this book sandwich takes place during modern High Republic era, as in Phase 1. So basically, what's going on is there is a Harch, which is probably my least favorite Star Wars race, being the Arachnid people, Harch bounty hunter, who is working with the Nile to find a journal. So they find this journal, which is guarded by a droid that the Harch knew from 150 years ago. And the droid kind of starts telling the story about, like, what happened, and this was during the Battle of Dalna, where as we know, as the readers know who've read all the other books, the Shrikara were released. The Shrikara are the Nameless, which are Force Eaters that turn Jedi to dust. So basically, this is kind of like while the battle's winding down, the Harch is trying to kill these Jedi. We have Akraf, his master, which I'm going to have to just pull it up really quick because it is hard to remember characters' names. Master Revna, and then their droid, who's the droid that is guarding the journal, ZZ-10, and Azlin Rel. So basically, they're fighting in underground tunnels, which then get flooded. Arkoff and Revna get separated from Azlin. Azlin comes in contact with one of the Nameless. It doesn't really show how much contact, but he ends up going insane and just repeating the lullaby of "They're coming to take us away," which is about the Nameless. And Akraf's master, who is blind, I believe, because she has her eyes closed the whole time, it looks like. Could be wrong, don't quote me on that. Goes to fight the Nameless and gets disintegrated. Akraf was knocked out during this time, so he wakes up and realizes he doesn't sense his master. ZZ is in denial, and Azlin is taken away to basically be in medical. I did forget to mention that Akraf is a Wookiee, so we do not understand anything he's saying. It's through context of other characters. Obviously a good character, though, because we all love Wookiees. But basically, anyways, so as Azlin's trying to recover, Akraf is trying to figure out what he's kind of like insanely talking about, and so is the Harch, which I will tell you his name because there is a nice little blurb about each character in the back. His name is Vol Garrett. So Vol goes to basically interrogate Azlin, who is non-responsive, and anytime he gets close to being responsive, starts seeing this like Lovecraftian terror in front of him and makes him freak out more. So they decide to move Azlin to basically a psych ward or asylum, and during that he gets visitation from Akraf and ZZ. He does try to start talking and then freaks out again, and then later that night Azlin is abducted by Vol. During that, Akraf kind of chases after him with ZZ, and They catch up and start to fight. At this, Aslan just kind of explodes with the Force, trapping Vol under a bunch of rubble. And at that, Ackroff and ZZ decide to bury the journal. And Ackroff upgrades ZZ. We don't know why for that chapter or with what. And then they part ways after ZZ is buried to guard the journal. Jump forward 150 years. Vol is kind of like, well, this was worthless because I'm about to take the journal now. Turns out the upgrades were ZZ's weapons. And he did call out a communication to Ackroff to come and help, basically. So as he tries to defend off the Nile, Vol seems to get the upper hand, but then Ackroff shows up and fights Vol, thus beating him and reuniting with ZZ. At this time, Ackroff's a Jedi Master. We also get a cameo from Sav from the High Republic Adventures comics, both Phase 1 and 2. And basically they set out to kind of figure out if the journal will help in these modern times. But yeah, so it was actually a very good manga. I enjoyed it more than the Phase 1 mangas. I did feel like this one was more connected to what's going on in both phases than Edge of Balance Volume 1 was. So yeah, I thought it was pretty good. I am going to give it a 8 out of 10. Definitely pick it up at your local bookshop. I really wish that there's more like publicity about this stuff getting released, because I always find it out like a month or two later after it's released. But yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Be sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, ring that bell. Follow me on all my social media down below. It's that Nerd Ryan, signing off.